Welcome to Mediocre Gaming, and today we're playing Deep Rock Galactic. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm Zarel. Let's get to it. So today we're playing the Deep Dive, codenamed Infested Basin. But before we get to that, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and ring that bell to be notified of all future episodes as soon as they go live. So let's get into it. Stage 1 of the Deep Dive has cave leech clusters, crystallized morkite, and a black box. Cave leech clusters, of course, means that there's going to be more cave leeches than normal. A normal stage may have 2 or maybe even 3. Anywhere from 0 to 3, I would say. Cave leeches is not unheard of when you have the modifier to see 10 or 12 cave leeches, so keep your eyes on the sky. Hopefully you have a scout with you that can light things up so that you can see those cave leeches before you see the arm reaching to grab you. And if you want, you can consider grabbing heightened senses to take in with you to the deep dive, so that if you are away from the rest of your teammates, that you're not going to be immobilized by the cave leeches. But that's up to you. So crystallized morkite, of course, is the blue-gray glow that you're going to see even in the dark in the level. Mine it just like you would any other mineral with your pickaxe. The black box, as you see here, is a zone control. There's a bubble around the black box once you get it all prepped and ready. And the more people that are within the bubble, the faster your progress will go. The fewer people, the slower it'll go. And if nobody's in there, you start to lose progress. So try to have everyone inside of that bubble at all times, and keep the enemies out of the bubble. The bubble becomes the kill zone, and unfortunately, all of the doors are probably in the kill zone. So when you get enemies, the bugs coming into the bubble, then you end up with friendly fire and all sorts of nasty things going on that you'd like to hopefully avoid. You have potential for the whole team going down, or team members going down, because your teammates are firing on you, you're firing on your teammates, and then of course you have like the Praetorian stink bubbles after they die that are causing problems.
Objective completed.
So keep the critters out just to make your job a lot easier. Once you're at 100% and you have all the morkite, call on the drop pod to make your way forward. Now at this point, I like to point out that the deep dive is a 3-stage raid-like environment where you can play with your body Bosco or with up to 3 other players, either pre-made or match-made. Now this particular level, we were fortunate enough to get jump boots, which helped with the open vertical spaces that were in this level. If you have that option, certainly grab the jump boots. It'll make your job a lot easier, especially if you're not a scout. Now playing the deep dive solo is completely doable. It may take you longer if you're playing solo than if you're playing with other people, but your experience may vary depending on how much experience the other players have, not only with Deep Rock Galactic, but with the deep dives specifically. And of course, it depends on what job class everyone comes into the deep dive and what perks people are bringing in. So I'm playing the driller, and I've got the toxic canister as a grenade, and then the corrosive sludge as my main weapon. If I had come in with, say, the axe or the shredder, that might have made some of the fights a little bit easier. And then the flamethrower, of course, will ignite the the stink bomb left by the Praetorians, so that could alleviate some of the problems, or it could have complicated it. Now once the door opens, get in the drop pod and make your way onward to the next stage. So that's it for stage number 1. Moving on to stage number 2. Alright, stage 2 of the deep dive has parasites, rich atmosphere, and you also have the main objectives, alien eggs and a dreadnought. Alien eggs, of course, you're going to dig into the organic matter towards the pulsing red light, dig out that egg, and then drop it in the mule. Now, you always have a chance of spawning a swarm when you grab an egg. But even if you don't spawn a swarm, you're going to be spawning some enemies as well. And in these alien egg levels, there's usually a bunch of enemies that are spawn as soon as you arrive. So it may cause some problems right after you get out of the ship. And we happen to be right next to the dreadnought, right from the starting point. And we were also all fairly low on ammo from the previous level, since we didn't call in a resupply pod. When you get to be about 50% with 3 or more players, that's usually a good time to call in a resupply. Communicating with your teammates to let you know when you're at around the 50% mark. That can let you know if you're using ammo a little bit faster or slower than your teammates. But also, let them know that, hey, I'm going to need ammo soon. And then other people might be like, oh, hey, I'm below 50% already, so we better call one in now. Because you do not want to be at the point where you do not have ammo. You don't want to run out of it. Now the dreadnoughts, of course, are the boss-like creatures of Deep Rock Galactic. This time around we got the Glyphid Dreadnought, which has an immune phase, shielded phase, and then damage phase. Do damage as quickly as possible during the damage phase to take them out. Now once you have all the alien eggs and the dreadnought taken care of, call in the drop pod and make your way out. Now parasites, of course, means that all medium and larger enemies will spawn parasites when they die. Larger enemies like Praetorians, they will spawn several parasites. Grunts will only spawn one. Now this is a good time to point out that everything carries over from one stage to the next in the deep dive. That includes gold, nitra, health, ammo, and whatever's in your pocket. So if you have gold or nitra that you've picked up but you couldn't drop it in the drop pod or the mule before it docked, it'll carry over to the next stage. Just make sure that you drop it in the mule or the drop pod in the final stage before you make your way out, just so you can get credit. Now this stage, as well as the previous stage and the last stage, you're going to look for gold and nitra. Gold, of course, will give you credits at the end of the deep dive towards cosmetics, upgrades, promotions, etc. And nitra will keep you flush with health and ammo during the deep dive. So both very important, but for different reasons. Stingtail is one of the most dangerous creatures when you're sitting on the drop pod waiting for your teammates, because it can actually pull you out. So that's it for stage number 2. Moving on to stage number 3. Alright, here we are, the third and final stage of the deep dive. This time around we have no modifiers, which is great news, but we have 2 dreadnoughts and a black box. So we are going to have enemies galore on this stage of the deep dive that we're going to have to deal with. Dreadnoughts, of course, are boss-like creatures which require a lot of ammo, and then the black box will spawn swarms of enemies, which, of course, also requires a lot of ammo. Now this time around, we also got the Glyphid Dreadnought. As I said before, it's got a immune phase, a shielded phase, which you see with that yellow bar, a damaged phase when there's no yellow bar, and the glowing shield falls off of the butt of the creature, and then you have the full glow. That's when you have the damage phase. Do as much damage as quickly as possible, and then it goes immune. Run away from it when it's immune until it goes to the shielded stage again. Now it can pound the ground, so there's an area attack. It's got spawns of these little swarmers that'll come after you, and fireballs. Not to mention nasty melee if you let it get close. So don't try to keep at least arm's distance away from them, and then keep your eyes open for those swarmers, which tend to spawn once it gets to, I would say, about 65% health, so about 2/3, 3/4 health. You'll start seeing pop up. Call in resupplies when you start getting low on ammo before you run out of ammo, because you don't want to be running around like a chicken with its head cut off, trying to get to the resupply while you're completely out of ammo and having the Dreadnought coming after you. Back to the immune phase and just rinse and repeat. Communication with your allies is certainly up there if you want to do the deep dive, even if it's just using your laser pointer and letting your teammates know what's going on that way, or if you're letting them know by party chat or whatever. As long as people know what's going on, as long as you can communicate effectively what's happening, where you're at, where your teammates are going, where you need to go, it'll all work out in the end. Playing with people that you know, of course, will make things a lot easier because you have that rapport. You know what people are saying, what they mean, etc.
And we're at 50%.
It's just easier. Black box. I mean, these are all things that we've seen earlier in the deep dive. Black box is zone control. The more people in the zone, the faster it goes. The fewer people, the slower it goes. And if nobody's in there, you start losing progress rapidly. If you get down to 0%, then you failed the deep dive and you'll have to start over from the first stage.
75% team.
Now, one of the important reasons to do the deep dive, aside from the credits and experience that you get, are those matrix cores. Matrix cores, of course, will give you access to cosmetics, weapon skins, and those precious weapon overclocks that will make your weapons more powerful than they were before. All weapons have multiple weapon overclocks, so you can play around to see which one best suits your playstyle. Now the second batch of Dreadnought Fever comes in the form of the twins, the Lacerator and Arbalist. They go immune when they burrow throughout the stage, making it harder to track. Use your laser pointer to help with the tracking. If one of the Dreadnoughts lose health faster than the other, then they'll both burrow, go immune. When they pop up, one will share health with the other, which you'll see here. Boom. One loses a little bit of health, the other one gains a bunch of health. So if you want to preserve your ammo when you're fighting the twins. Make sure that you are divvying out equal portions of justice to each one. The Lacerator, of course, likes to get in close and do melee damage or fire damage. The Arbalest likes to, in general, stay farther away, do damage from you either directly with fireballs or toss bombs at you that will detonate a few seconds later. Like I said, if you mark them with the laser pointer, it'll make it easier to keep track of where they're at throughout your fight. Laser pointer will last for about 20 seconds, and then you'll have to target it again in order to keep track of it. If you don't, then you'll just have to keep your eyes on a swivel, keeping close eye on where they're at, where they're going, where they could be. A lot of times the Arbalest likes to be further away, a lot of times upside down on the ceiling, but depending on where your fight is taking place, maybe somewhere else. Now once you get down to taking out one of the dreadnoughts, the other one no longer has any ability to regenerate health, so just go ahead and find where they're at, do damage as quickly as possible, power them down to 0, and then you're done. Once you have all of the dreadnoughts taken care of and the black box done, you're ready to call in the drop pod and get out.
Excellent job.
And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check us out on social media, and thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and we'll see you next time.
Drop pod arrived. Mule is returning to LZ. Drop pod departing in T-minus 5 minutes.
Now this is how to kill you.
Okay, Sunsweeper! Eat that!
Resupply ordered.
Roger that. Supplies are coming.
Move it! What's this you
Time to restock. Flammable
The
toxins.
mule's been successfully retrieved. Make it snappy, team. The drop pod won't hang around forever.
That's it, lads! Rock
Rock
it!
it
No!
down, brother.
Good work. We're pulling you back in.
To the bone. Rock and stone forever. We did it. Yeah.
PlayStation